Hello boys and girls, so this is lesson 4. After finishing about all the reproductive process of the flower and also how the fruits they are made, how they disperse the fruit far away from the parent plants, let's go to another type of reproduction. Previously, the flower that we have been talking about, they use the sexual reproduction. They need the male and female gamete, they need fertilization. But for now, in this lesson, lesson 4, we're going to talk about asexual reproduction. Asexual, that means 無性嘅. That means in this type of reproduction, you do not need male or female gamete. No need. So there are two types of asexual reproduction. I will talk about them one by one. Let's take a look at the first one. We call that the binary fission, Chinese 異分裂. This occurs in some of the unicellular organisms, such as, for example, bacteria, 細菌. And there are other types I will talk about later. For the binary fission in the bacteria 異分裂 in 細菌, we have to first understand the structure of a bacteria first. In the bacteria, what do you have? You actually have cell membrane, cell wall, and inside, of course, you have the DNA, which carries the genetic information. When the time is right, the DNA inside the bacteria still replicates from one DNA into 2 DNA. So this is 1 DNA. Now it replicates into 2 DNA, and the cell grows in size, become bigger. This is actually a video, but sorry, I cannot show it to you. So imagine now you have 1 bacteria in here. After binary fission, how many bacteria will come out? 1 become 2. And then another minute, for example, they do the binary fission again. Again, they will spread into another 2, like this. So for the growth of bacteria, it can be very, very fast using binary fission. 1 become 2, 2 become 4, 4 become 8, 8 become 16, etc. There is another type of asexual reproduction, which is not related to bacteria. We call that the vegetative propagation in some flowering plants. Some plants, they have the vegetative part, such as the stem, the root, or the leaves. All those parts, if you cut it out, you put it into the soil, it can grow into a new plant. Now I'm going to show you some examples. For the leaf, stem, and the root, once you cut it out, they are actually having some food storage inside the stem or the root. They actually have sugar inside. And these storage organs allows them to survive in some very bad conditions, adverse conditions, 好嚴峻嘅環境. Now, using these storage organ as an example, you can think about this as a 洋葱, maybe 洋葱, okay? So this storage organ inside, it has a lot of food. So when the time is right, the food inside this storage organ, they will provide energy for the growth of some shoot. And later on, they will develop into leaves. And of course, only developing leaves is not enough for the plants to grow healthily. So therefore, these 洋葱, maybe storage organ, it will start to grow out some roots. And this type of root, we give it a name. They are not normal roots. So we call them the adventitious root. Adventitious root. So they are some roots which helps to absorb water and minerals, but they are not normal roots, so we give it a special name. Adventitious root, they are some special root. Why are they special? Because they do not grow from the stem base. They are not normally found on the stem base, but instead they just come out from anywhere except the stem bases. So here we go, such as this is a potato, right? 薯仔. And you can see the adventitious roots grow out from in the middle, the center of the potato, which is not normal and good looking. But anyway, these type of roots allow the storage organ to absorb water and minerals from the soil. Now the leaves, they grow out using the food from the storage organ. So when the food is being used up in the storage organ will dry up and become smaller. There are many different types of vegetative propagation plants, and there are different types of storage organs as well. So given in here, there are some examples such as potato. We call them the stem tuber. Sorry, not clear. The stem tuber. Or the bulb, 洋葱, or the cone, 球莖, or the rhizome, 根莖啦. So there are different examples. Stem tubers, they are actually some underground stems such as potato, and the leaves, they can actually grow out from these spots. These spots, we call them the eye. 一隻眼咁啦. New stem and new leaves will grow out from here, the eye. Some people will call them the bud. Also, so anyway, this is where the shoot is going to grow. The leaves, the stem will grow out from the eye or the bud region. And for maybe the onions, 洋葱啦, or the others, 水仙球啦, so these are what we call the bulb, 好似個燈膽咁啦. There are some vertical underground stem. You can see there are some fleshy leaves in the middle of the storage organ. Examples would be 新年會有嘅水仙球啦. This is actually 水仙. And in the inside, you can actually see a lot of fleshy layers. These fleshy layers inside the 水仙球, this is what we call the vegetative organ or bulb. Another type is called the cone. For example, you have some water chestnuts, 馬蹄 as an example. So they don't have some fresh leaves inside, but actually inside is very 爽口啦, very freshy. Alright. Last but not least, we have the rhizome. They grow horizontally under the ground as a stem, such as example 尖扎薑啦, or lotus 蓮花. Alright, so as usual, you can see some bud on top of the underground rhizoid. It will grow out to form shoot later on. So there is a final method for vegetative propagation. That is, we do it artificially with our own hands. 人工咁做啦. For example, by cutting 插枝 using the plants called the 非洲紫羅蘭 African violet. The idea is very simple. You get a fresh leaf from the African violet, cut it out, and then you put it into the water, wait for some time, allow the roots to grow out. These roots that grows out, we call them the adventitious root. And once they have the root, all right, so they can absorb water, they can absorb minerals, they are strong enough. So you put it back into the soil. So allow it to grow in the soil to become even bigger, stronger, and later on, waha, it will become back into a potted plants, 成棵成盆植物咁啦. Alright, it will grow out more leaves and form flowers at the very end.